All right. Welcome back to the channel. Anthony Joshua says that he would rather fight Deontay Wilder in 2 years. And also, Dillian White has some craziness to say, so we'll talk about that in this video. All right. I know you guys are not going to like this. Anthony Joshua says, I'd rather fight Wilder in 2 years. Believe me, I'd rather fight Wilder in 2 years because I know I'll get better. Imagine 2 years ago, I was fighting Charles Martin. Then a few months before that, I was fighting Dillian White. Compare the type of fighter I was then to where I've got to now in terms of experience. So then imagine in another 2 years fighting Wilder, I'll be a lot more sound. Okay. Does that sound like somebody that's in a rush to fight Deontay Wilder? Anthony Joshua says one thing one day, says something else another day, and you really never know what's in this guy's head, man. But my take on it is that these guys are not in a rush to make this Deontay Wilder fight. And they're using Deontay Wilder's, the fact that Deontay Wilder is going on about his business and making a Luis Ortiz fight and making other fights is a way to create anticipation to a fight that they don't want right now, regardless. Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, specifically Eddie Hearn, and I say this and I'll say it again and again and again and again and again and again, because I don't have a short memory, but some other people do, or they don't have a short memory and they just want to serve you up what it is that you want to hear or what they want to believe. Back in 2017, Eddie Hearn said in an interview to Coogan Cassius on IFL TV that Anthony Joshua had a 10-year plan, or that it wasn't about who he's going to fight in the next 1 or 2 fights, that they have a plan to set him up with 7 or 8 different fights, and that they were looking for a career and to stay a champion as long as Klitschko was a champion. Okay, Klitschko, last time I checked, was a champion around 10 years. So you have Anthony Joshua, who has now been a champion for 3 years. So it's a few more years before they're going to be wanting to put him up there and risk him getting knocked out. And for as much as people talk about Deontay Wilder and his form and this, that, and the other thing, Deontay Wilder, even the most hardcore Anthony Joshua fan, the biggest Deontay Wilder, I hate to use the word, I don't like using the word hater, but let's use the word distractor, would have to admit that Deontay Wilder has the ability to knock anybody out, that he hits clean with a shot to the chin very quickly and in devastating fashion. Everybody that ever fought him has said that. Every fight that anybody that has ever seen him fight has seen that occur. So for Anthony Joshua to say just 2 more years, look how good I was, look where I was when I fought Charles Martin. And then look where I am now. Just imagine if it's another 2 years, how good I'm going to be and how solid I'm going to be. Maybe then I'll be ready for Deontay Wilder, which just so happens to coincide with the desire that they had from the beginning of him having his belts, that he stayed champion for a very, very long time. Which brings me into my next point. Dillian White, man. Dillian White's a wild boy. Dillian White is making fun of this Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz fight, claiming that Deontay Wilder is ducking him. And I just keep thinking back to when it was that Deontay Wilder offered to fight Dillian White if Dillian White fought Luis Ortiz. This right now, in this pay-per-view that the CEO Matchroom is complaining about, saying that it doesn't make any sense. That Eddie Hearn is saying whatever heck story Eddie Hearn is telling today, and Dillian White is complaining about. This could have been Dillian White. All Dillian White had to do was fight Luis Ortiz in his last fight. That's it. Fight Luis Ortiz in your last. If you would have fought Luis Ortiz when Deontay Wilder made that offer, and there was plenty of opportunities, the WBC had ordered a fight between Dillian White and Luis Ortiz for a second mandatory. He had an opportunity to do that. Now, it was for the second mandatory, which would have been the mandatory after Deontay Wilder beat Dominic Breazeale. So in either scenario, Dillian White would now be in the position of getting that fight. He would have been in a position, one, if he would have been able to beat Luis Ortiz in a voluntary fight that wasn't ordered by the WBC, he would have had the opportunity to fight him next, because Luis Ortiz, sorry why I laugh at the prospect of Dillian White beating Luis Ortiz, although my man, Mr. Boxing Today 2 thinks it would be a good chance, and he's got a chance, and that Dillian White has a chance to do it. I don't agree, but hey man, I've been wrong before. Dillian White would have beat him. Dillian White would have been in a position to say, hey man, you got to fight me on Showtime pay-per-view or whatever whatever it is, because he had beaten, because I did what you said. I beat Dillian White. I beat Luis Ortiz, right? Why are you fighting Luis Ortiz? I just beat him, right? Wouldn't that have given Dillian White the opportunity to say just that? Absolutely, but he decided not to do it. And now you got Tyson Fury, him fighting Tyson Fury because he wouldn't fight Luis Ortiz. The WBC orders him to fight Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury says he's going to fight him today, then he was not going to fight him tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow he'll again say that he's going to fight him. It's not going to happen for Dillian. Dillian, man, what you complaining about, dog? You should have fought Luis Ortiz. If you're all that, and Luis Ortiz is an old man and it's easy money and all that, should have taken the fight. But since you didn't take the fight, you got to keep your mouth shut, man. You got to keep your mouth shut, okay? Because you had the opportunity and you didn't take it. Easy as pie on that one. Now, last thing I want to talk about in this video is this Anthony Joshua card that's taking place on Saturday, taking place on Saturday. Now, I got to point out, and I'm going to do this in this live stream, that I went and I actually looked again at the ticket sales. But this time I looked at the resale tickets, because I didn't realize the Ticketmaster allowed you to look at specifically at the resale tickets that they have open. And there are a monstrous amount of tickets that are up for resale. I wonder how that could have happened. I wonder if the pre-sale tickets that all got snatched up are now right there on Ticketmaster in a section called verified resale tickets. And those tickets are available everywhere. Now, while I would like to say that, because seriously, you AJ fans, you get on my nerve, okay? I mean, you guys get on my nerves, can't lie. But I think that it also might have, besides the fact that Americans really, seriously, truly are not overly amped up about Anthony Joshua. We don't know him. As much as people want to talk about people not knowing Deontay Wilder, fewer know Anthony Joshua. But I looked at the undercard, and in the undercard, you got Boatsi, you have Katie Taylor, you have Callum Smith, you've got Tommy Doyle, and Josh Kelly. Those are all the fights on the undercard. And I read this and I'm like, these are actually some good fighters, right? Katie Taylor's clearly a good fighter. Boatsi's a good fighter. Callum Smith is a good fighter. I really enjoyed Callum Smith's fight with George Groves when he won the belt. I think he's going to lose that belt if he ever gets in it with David Benavidez, because I just don't think he's on David Benavidez's level, but he's a good fighter, right? I've seen Josh Kelly. I'm not so high on Josh Kelly. I just think Josh Kelly looks, his hands too low, and you got to be super athletic to fight with that style. But even as somebody who has watched all of those fighters fight, enjoy watching and think all those fighters are solid fighters, why are they fighting in Madison Square Garden? Why are they fighting in Madison Square Garden? If this is the United States of America, man, nobody knows them. Even less than Anthony Joshua, nobody knows them. That is a fighter, that is a British card in Madison Square Garden. What sense does that make? If you're actually trying to attract American fight fans to come in and fight. I think you got a couple on there. You've got the people who are like the opponents. You got Chris Algieri, Andy Ruiz. I can't remember the name of the people that the other guys are fighting, but I think they might be Americans. They might be Americans, probably are Americans. But still, that's not a Don King undercard fight, but undercard for a major fight. But we'll see how it does, man. And we'll see what goes on with the outcome, because I think they should all, it'll be an enjoyable night of fights that, not too many people are going to be able to see on the zone. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.